And good morning. And I can see there's people out there uh, in the chat session of the program saying good morning as well. Welcome to the Howard Eskin Show as you are riding with the king. And there really is a lot to talk about this morning. And we will do so with you. With you, you are a part of the show, big part of the show on Saturdays. And it's easy to join. Before I tell you how you do that, let me just thank our presenting sponsor, who is a big part of this show already, and that would be Stillwell Financial Advisors. You need someone to help you invest, and in today's world, you really do need somebody to help you invest. And Jeff Stillwell can do that, knows his stuff, great knowledge of all that stuff, regular, just a regular good guy, and he can help you out. There's his number, 732-343-0813. That's 732-343-0813. All right. Some of the things we're going to talk about, obviously the Eagles with a bye week. By the way, happy Halloween to everybody. This would be my favorite Halloween candy. I love Reese's peanut butter cups. You know what? There's some things that are close, but Reese's peanut butter cups are the best. All right. John Gruden got annoyed one time, did a best of 64 candies. There is not 64 candies that are good enough, but whatever. We're going to talk about the Eagles. What do the Phillies need, and what do they need to do in this offseason is really what the issue is. The Eagles, do they need to make a trade before the deadline, which is November 4th? The Flyers, boy, the Flyers are moving in the right direction. They've won 5 out of 6. The Flyers are in better shape than the Sixers, who it's fool's gold. Fool's gold. I told you last time, fool's gold. The Sixers are an ordinary team with a stiff that's making $63 million a year, and that would be Joel Embiid. We'll talk about that. And we'll do a lot of things. And a big part of this show is you, but also a big part of this show are our partners in the show. And another one would be Audi of Westchester. Right now, and I just stopped by Audi of Westchester yesterday at 1421 Wilmington Pike. And I was just checking to see what the deal is. And it looks like this is just check in with them to see, does anybody else have 3.99% financing for up to 72 months? Well, you can do that on the new remodeled A5, the Q5, the SQ5, Q5 Sportback, the SQ5 Sportback, and the Q6 e-tron rear wheel drive. It's a great deal. 3.99% financing. Can't get that anywhere on those models. And check them out, 1421 Wilmington Pike. Grab a cup of coffee, grab some snacks, just enjoy it, and check it all out, AudiWestchester.com. Also, another partner of the program would be Piazza Property Pros. You want a pool, the weather's not as conducive right now, but you still might have a little bit of window, but they can do all the other things. They can remodel your property, they landscaping, excavation, hardscaping, fencing, pool maintenance, do all those things. 25 years of experience tells you what you need to know, and they don't subcontract. They do a great job, and they will do a great job for you. Give them a call, and they'll work within your budget. 610-566-2608. That's 610-566-2608 to schedule a free consultation. And free consultation. Not everybody does that. Check it out, piazzaoutdoor.com. All right. The other thing that I want to make a point of is obviously this show is about you, and it's easy to link on. And I see there's some people. And before we go to Mark Lawrence today, I'm going to take some of you, the callers. It's really easy enough to do. The key thing is to allow the microphone and camera. You don't want to, after you hit allow, then you can put a next through the camera by clicking on that if you don't want to be on camera. But it's nothing wrong. I'm not going to bite. but there's a lot of things going on. All right. So we do have who's our first caller? Is it Gary? Is Gary still there? All right. All right, Gary. Gary, what's up? What's up,
Hey,
Gary?
man, I don't miss a show. I'm down here in Florida, and this is how I stay in touch with Philadelphia. I love you, Howard.
What part of
Um,
Florida? What part of Florida are you in?
I like Aventura, Hollywood area.
Okay. No, there's a Hard Rock down there. I'm friends with a
Yeah,
bunch of the people there.
not
Yep.
far, not far.
No.
But let me ask you this: the Green Bay game, we're 2.5 point underdogs. What is that telling you? What's going on? We're not
Well, you're
usually
playing in Green
underdogs.
Bay. Green Bay's a
Yeah,
good team. You're playing in Green Bay. So again, it doesn't. It tells me it's going to be a good game. That was one of the games that I thought the Eagles would lose this season. That's a tough game. Green Bay's got to win that game. You got to win at home because it might be a tiebreaker. So you got to win it. You got to win at home.
well, they're ahead of us now, so I'd like to see us not lose the game.
Yeah,
Get
right. Well, they have a bye week, so they have a little bit of an advantage. But
right,
Green Bay, I don't know if Green Bay's a better team or not. I don't know if the Eagles are. I don't know if Detroit's better than the Eagles or the Eagles are better than
yeah,
Detroit. Same
well,
thing goes for the Rams. Even though they beat them, they were lucky to beat them. And then
yeah.
Seattle, I can't figure out Seattle. It's just Darnold has played great as their quarterback, and you obviously need the quarterback. So it's just,
Well,
but hey, it
it's
is
still
what it
early
is.
on. We still got a lot of season to go. Um, I don't know how they say that Kansas City is so much better than we are when we blew their doors off in the Super Bowl. I mean, how are they saying that? Come
Well, but
on,
Kansas City's straightened themselves out. I thought Kansas City was cooked, but
right,
Kansas City looks like they're okay. They're okay now. It looks like they're okay. They're better than okay. I don't know that they're better, and I don't know who's saying that. You don't have to worry about that. Eagles have to get to the Super Bowl first.
right, right, right.
Yeah. So, but so the questions I asked: Do the Eagles need to make a trade before the deadline, which is November next week? And what do the Phillies need to do in the offseason? Because we obviously see they're not as good as Toronto. They're not as good as the Dodgers, and they're
No,
not as good as a lot of teams right now. They just don't play the right way. They just don't play the right way. So, what do you think do? The Eagles need to make a trade before next week?
well, you definitely are short on the cornerbacks position. That's very weak. It's hard to
They
watch.
traded for a guy. It was a
Yeah,
nobody for a nobody. Yeah.
exactly. I think Miles Garrett's a little too steep. That's a lot of giving up first round picks or whatever.
Here's the problem. You got to squeeze in 40 million
Hmm.
of a salary. AJ Brown is going to be here this year, but I would think there's better than a 50-50 chance he won't be here next year.
I hate to see that.
So that's 32 million. But the thing is to give up 3 first round picks, and somebody's going to do that. Somebody's going to do that. And I just don't think it's going to the Eagles. And, people throw out in social media, people throw out a lot of things.
Right.
But I haven't heard a lot of chatter about Miles Garrett lately.
Okay.
But the Phillies need to do something too.
The Phillies need to
Where
do a lot. It's just it's hard to watch.
it
I
really
can't
is.
stand all the strikeouts, the non-contact. Put the ball in play. That's the name of the game, and
Oh, wait
I'm
a minute.
tired of it.
They don't understand. And Bryce Harper's got to stop whining like a baby.
Oh,
Yeah,
ah,
just hey, listen, you're not elite. Well, he's a really good
no,
player. Okay.
he's not.
But when Dave Dombrowski said he wasn't elite this year, he wasn't elite this year.
Exactly.
261, 75 RBIs, 27 home runs. That's not elite. Uh,
Pedestrian.
yeah, it's just so he's got to stop whining. But
Yeah.
other than that, hey, listen, how do you walk every morning and how much do you
Uh,
wear?
I I play
wear
tennis.
Fitbit?
Tennis every morning and walk 6 miles every day.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I walk I try to do 8 to 10 every day.
that's tough, Howard.
I don't do
That's
it in
tough.
one shot. I don't do it
Yeah,
in one shot. But you gotta stay healthy. Hey Gary, it's
yeah.
good talking to you. Say
Oh,
hello to all
thanks
my
for
friends
having me.
now. No
I
problem. Say
love
hello.
you. Thank you, Howard. Thank you.
I love you too, Gary. See you
Thank you so
later.
much.
You got it. All right, Gary down in Florida. It's great. People listen. I have had people all over the world, and trust me when I see messages. People from India, from Germany, from London. I've had people tell me that they've listened to me from all over the world. Let's see if we can take another caller before we go to Mark Lawrence. Is there somebody else up there, Joe, that we can go to? Uh, why don't you do that? Let's see. All right, let's go to Tony. It's just, yeah, we don't want to see you.
Hey,
Okay, Tony.
Howard.
All right, what's happening, Tony?
Well, Flyers look good, and
Yep, they're in
quick
better shape
pay.
than the Sixers. They're in better shape than the Sixers.
Yeah, that MB had to take that boner of a last shot there. He stunk.
Well, wait a minute.
Uh,
Embiid's cooked. I hate to break the news to you, Tony. Joel Embiid +2 last night. Quentin Grimes was -15. The Sixers are fool's gold. They're not good enough. Okay, with this team, remember is Paul George still is he still
he's
alive?
on the team, I think, but I don't think he's playing yet.
No, he's not playing. That's my point. My point is he signed his that might be one of the worst contracts, even better, worse than that center they got back years ago.
Robinson.
No, it wasn't Robinson. I forget who it was. The guy never played. But it was worse than that because now you got 4 years at like $53 million or $55 million a year. It's a joke. Paul George is a fraud. Not playing 50. He averaged 50 games a year, other than the year he's playing for a contract. He averaged
How,
50, less than 50 games a year. I mean,
how
it's
about how about the Dodgers playing small ball last night and coming back for Game 7 tonight?
well, they play small ball a lot, but uh, Toronto's pitching has been really good. The Phillies see what teams win, and they're not Toronto, they're not the Dodgers, and they're not other teams, and they just don't play. They don't play the right way. Pitching is great, but you got to play the right way, and they just don't put the ball in
Are they
play.
going to keep? Are they going to keep Ranger?
No,
Or
nope.
not?
And we'll see whether they keep Schwarber. I think they have to keep Schwarber, and that really doesn't allow them to sign anybody else. It's just you got to keep Schwarber. He's the most productive player in that lineup. Even though it's all about home runs, he's the most important player in the locker room. If there's no leaders.
You'll have him as cleanup, right?
I would have him, yeah, below number two.
All
Uh,
right.
but yeah, that's where I would put him. It doesn't matter. There's not the only other guy that puts the ball in play well enough is Bohm, and they're trying to trade Bohm again. So I don't get it. All right, Tony. Well, the Sixers aren't going anywhere. The
Oh,
Phillies,
and the
I don't know.
Eagles. How
Uh,
about the Eagles getting Garrett? What do you think?
what do you think?
I think they should get him. I think
What,
move
Garrett?
Brown on. Give them Brown now while they're he's fresh.
What? What are you talking about?
AJ Brown. Get rid of him now while he's still
Yeah,
fresh.
but you're not going to get a lot for him right now. They need him. Um, and
I think Smitty, can handle
if
it.
a team is, people are asking about Miles Garrett. That's social media stuff. They're not going to get Miles Garrett. But Cleveland just wants draft picks. They don't want players. If they trade Miles Garrett, and I think there's less than a 20% chance that that'll happen. But whatever. And the Eagles aren't getting Miles Garrett. I would be totally shocked.
How about Crosby then?
Who?
Crosby
You
from
know,
Oakland.
you know what? But they have to get rid of players to do that, and those teams don't want players. They want draft picks. They want draft picks.
Hmm.
Sixers got to get rid of Embiid. You know what? If Embiid just stayed home, they'd be better off. I'm serious. They'd be better off as far as the Sixers.
Well, they did win without him the last couple of games. VJ and
Yeah, but
Maxi.
let me just break the news to you. The Sixers have never never. They never led in the game last night. They were down by 24 at one point. In the fourth quarter of every game this year, even the 4 wins, they were down double digits in the fourth quarter. That's not a winning team. Hey, Tony, happy Halloween, even though it's over. Happy 1st of November. Happy 1st of the new month. And you have a great weekend.
All right, you too, Howard.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Before we go to Mark Lawrence, I want to tell you about our winner of the pair of Oakley sunglasses from last show. I had Bruce Arians on, and his answer was interesting. And Bob Bass, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Bob. You win the pair of Oakley sunglasses, had the answer correct, and you submitted it to my website among many. The quarterback that he said was the best that he coached, and Bruce Arians was a coach for Peyton Manning, and I eliminated Tom Brady, obviously. He only had him late in his career. Carson Palmer, Ben Roethlisberger. He said, and he had Andrew Luck as a rookie. He said Andrew Luck was the best quarterback that he coached. Now, the reason Andrew Luck didn't last is he got hurt, which was an interesting answer from Bruce Arians. But Bob, you win the pair of Oakley sunglasses. We are going to have another winner today of something that's said on the show. I'll ask the question later in the show, and you will win there you go. You'll win a hat trick of autographs. Flyer greats, Ron Hextall, Tim Kerr, and Rick Tocchet. And you'd submit your answer to howardeskin.com by midnight Tuesday, which is November 4th. And you can watch it on the show the next day to see if you're a winner on X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You subscribe to YouTube, it notifies you as soon as the show comes on. I think X, if you notify, you put the notification that alerts you to when it comes on too. But you can watch it on all those social media platforms as well as Amazon, Spotify, and Apple. All right. All right. So now let's take a look. What we're going to do, and we do this on Saturdays during football season, take a look at the weekend football. And to do that, let's bring in Mark Lawrence. Mark, how are you this fine Saturday?
I'm doing real good, Howard. Thank you. I was listening to your talk conversation a little bit earlier. I'm from Cleveland, and I hear the talk and chatter going on around Myles Garrett. I know it's the buzz in Philadelphia right now.
Yeah, I know. It just Cleveland is. They just want draft picks. They don't want players. They just want draft picks.
Exactly. That's what Barry's all about, is just building that program with draft picks, and that's exactly what would happen. But I don't see him landing in Philadelphia at all. Correct
No.
me if I'm wrong, but aren't the Philadelphia Eagles who they are right now because of the players that Howie Roseman slayed in the draft, and he's going to give up all these draft selections? It just doesn't make logical sense to me.
Well, Myles Garrett they need an edge rusher, and he's a rusher, but why would you give up 3 first-round picks? You lose maneuverability. I think they like to use it when they get closer to the draft to see who they want. But they lose that leverage. I just can't see them giving up 3. And somebody will if they trade for him. Cleveland, why would Cleveland take any less? This guy's got a lot of years left. Cleveland's got to find a way. They hope the quarterback they drafted is good enough. I don't know why Cleveland would give up and trade Myles Garrett. And I think he wants to stay there too.
He's a great athlete. There's no question about that. Arguably the best defensive end in the National Football League. But how many other great players in the National Football League have played on last place teams and really honestly didn't demand being traded? And I don't think Myles Garrett is demanding being traded.
No.
I think it's all just the media and all the hype. I mean, you look at LaDainian Tomlinson, Joe Thomas from the Browns. My God, he's in the Hall of Fame, and he was on last place team every time he played. Calvin Johnson, wide receiver from the Lions.
Yeah.
They never cried and wanted to be traded. They just wanted to play football is all they wanted to do.
Before I ask you about the football, this is my favorite Halloween candy, Reese's peanut butter cups. Do you have a favorite? And by the way, our presenting sponsor, Jeff Stillwell, sent me a text. He said, that's his favorite too. Well, it's my favorite, Reese's peanut butter.
Well, I'm going to make that 3 for 3. But it's not just my favorite Halloween candy. It's my favorite candy all year round.
That's great.
We stock on them all year long.
That's great. All right. That is just so good. All right. So let's start with the college football. Conference games are now a big part of the college football season, which is a good thing because usually you get better games when you get conference play. Who do you like today?
Well, this is that time of the year right now when it's getting down to the nitty gritty. These undefeated teams are making their mark, wanting to move forward, and obviously head to the college football playoff. But it's also the time of the year when the noose gets tighter and tighter on these undefeated teams. To do that, and when it fails, and it inevitably does, it always happens on the road against good football teams or football teams with winning records. We've got two of those, what I would call candidates playing today, that the noose is getting tighter and tighter. The first is going to be I'm going to fade Indiana today and play Maryland and take 21 points at home. You got a 4-3 Maryland football team that's playing to look to become bowl eligible,
Mhm.
and you've got Indiana who's got Oregon up on deck next week.
Yeah, Maryland's not going to win, but
No, they're not going
it's
to
a
win,
big
but they're going to
number.
come and be competitive,
Yeah.
and that's all you ask. But that's probably the biggest look ahead game on the schedule today is Indiana playing against Oregon next week. And you've got a really decent football team, and you've got some great numbers behind this. The noose getting tighter and tighter situations here. I outlined it in our newsletter here. They're in like 13 and 1 point spread rolls here. Maryland is one of those plays. The other play today, we're going to fade Georgia Tech, undefeated. A little bit of a surprise, but nonetheless still undefeated. Playing
Playing.
NC State, who's 4-4 on the year. Uh, so you've got a good reason for them to play NC State off back-to-back losses. I don't see both of these teams, Indiana and Kansas State or Georgia Tech, getting home alive this weekend, at least to the point spread. And if one of the two gets tripped up, I'm not going to be surprised. More likely, NC State to knock out Georgia Tech.
So when you look at some of these things, you look at teams that are undefeated, and maybe is Georgia Tech looking ahead at all?
Well, I don't think they have much of a look ahead. I didn't note that, so let me see real quick. I doubt that they're looking ahead.
Mm,
The biggest one, like I said, is Indiana for sure. Georgia
right.
Tech, they've got, well, you could say they do. I'm going to correct myself. They got Miami of Florida up next.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
Yeah.
is. So
So that makes it, and they're only a 4.5 point favorite. I mean, and North Carolina's only a 500. North Carolina State's only a 500 team.
correct. So the
So
numbers there's telling you something too.
yeah, that's an interesting. That is an interesting situation. Are there other teams that may be looking ahead? Uh, because there's so many big games for all these teams. Is there another team that you think may be looking ahead?
Well, if not looking ahead, I'm going to say a combination of maybe looking ahead and laying down this week, or being exposed, probably more like a football team that's playing way over their head, that's being priced for that accordingly. And that would be Virginia. Now, they've got, they're on the road here this week, not playing much in California. They've got Wake Forest up next. That's not going to be a big, huge look ahead for them because they do have the better record.
Right.
But this is the Virginia football team that is on a 6-game win streak. And the last 4 games they've won, they've been out-yarded in all 4 of those games.
Mm.
Just total phony exposure here by Virginia. Now they got to go on the road to California, who's a decent team. Looking to become bowl eligible is Cal here. I think it's a live home dog for California here. I think Virginia gets exposed today.
All right. Are there teams that need to win the game to kind of elevate themselves into then there's 12 teams into the college football playoff. There's some teams that are probably on the edge of being in or out being selected. Uh, which teams do you think that could be?
Well, I think the team that fits the bill the best would be the Texas Longhorns, who were the number 1 team in the AP preseason poll this
Mm-hmm.
year. And they're going to host Vanderbilt, the upstart team in all of college football. And, because Arch Manning is questionable, concussion protocol, and the way that Texas has played, this game is a field goal for Texas at home, where they won 17 of the last 18 games. They're not going to lose this game to Vanderbilt. In fact, if Texas wins this game and goes on to win the Big 12 championship, they're going to be a main player in the college football playoff because they're talented and they were the number 1 preseason team. I think this is the line that is the biggest value of teams that need wins, and I'd say Texas Longhorns need this win. They can't afford the loss.
Mark, I noticed that Ohio State was 20 and a half. The number I saw, I think yesterday, was 20 and a half against Penn State. And now I see they're 18 and a half. that's I don't know if that number going down a couple of points when it's that high makes a difference, but it looks like somebody likes Penn State.
Well, I think if a person just looks at what you have in this matchup here, we could play the game. Play the game. What would this line have been the first game of the season? Okay, the line of the game in the first
Would have
game.
been under a touchdown for
Yes, it
sure.
would have. It would have been around a touchdown. Exactly right. So now you're talking three times as many points. So you do have some value here in fading Ohio State that way. But you don't have Drew Eller for Penn State, and Ohio State is just a mean machine. This defense of theirs is beyond unbelievably good. They're all NFL caliber players that play there. And the Buckeyes might want to make a statement here. This is a type of a team that I would normally want to make a case for Penn State for, but I don't like all the disarray and all the ugliness that's happened with this program since the James Franklin firing here. I'm not going to go there. And this number coming down just verifies that to me. One, you don't want to let value go because you could have taken 21 and a half and now you're only getting 18 and a half. That doesn't make a lot of sense. But I understand that there's people that still feel there's value in Penn State. I just don't feel there is.
You know what? Mississippi obviously came off a big win. They got nothing. They're like Penn State. They scheduled Citadel next week. Why would you schedule a high school team? I mean, come on. But they know they're going to be number one as long as they're undefeated. So, do you look at a letdown from Mississippi at all? South Carolina is a decent team.
I like the game because South Carolina is better than they're playing. I think they're better than decent. They've underperformed. They have the capability of pulling the rug, which I think they can do in this football game.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Mississippi coming in here off the big win over Oklahoma, having just battled Georgia. I think this is a prime letdown spot for Ole Miss here, and I think they can be exposed. I've got to grab the points with South Carolina here. I'm going to say if there's a shocker in college football today and they take down Ole Miss, I'm not going to be surprised.
All right. When they play, and we'll get to it next week, Citadel next week. The week after, I believe they have Florida. Now, that's not as big a game for them, but with all the noise about Lane Kiffin possibly being the next head coach at Florida, I think that could be a major, major distraction when they play. I don't even know if it's going to be a line on the game against Citadel. But
Oh.
but if there is, I would have to take Citadel in 40 points.
You'll probably get closer to 50 points there.
But yeah, so but there's there's some teams out there, but that you just can't figure out. It's been a tough year in college football, and I think the portal is a disgrace because there's no consistency from year to year with teams. Is that the biggest problem in college football this year?
Unquestionably, all of college sports, you can take it to basketball as well, but college football, unquestionably, the portal and then the NIL, and now, just the basic free agency in the world of college football players, being able to shop themselves and, beg out of one program, go to another for more money. And it's disgraceful. And I understand why Nick Saban did what he did. And, Tom Izzo is going to do the same thing in college basketball. It's gotten completely out of control.
All right. So now let's look at the pros. Who do you like?
I'm going to play two underdogs here this week, and God forbid if what happens this week in the National Football League happened last week. We'll be able to get RIP tombstones for all of our underdog players out there, who I happen to be one.
Yeah.
But the favorites just absolutely killed in the NFL last week, 10-2. Only one score. There was only one score game, and they're on a run right now. It's incredible, 21-7 the last 2 weeks favorites in the National Football League. But that's going to come back, and I think it might come back a little bit this week. And the first underdog I'm going to look at is be Atlanta, the Falcons, taking 5 against New England. And I know the Falcons have laid a couple of eggs here the past 2 weeks, but the one last week was without Michael Penix, and he's back this week.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a big factor in that offense. And the game they lost before that was a real tough, close loss. They could have won the football game. So Atlanta hasn't gone anywhere. I think they're just sitting there as a nice live dog in this football game, taking 5 from New England, who I think is in letdown mode. They've had things go their way completely. And I think Atlanta can expose them in this game. Okay,
so you're looking at New England as possibly in the letdown situation, but are they as good as their record? Well, as Bill Parcells will say, your record is your record, and that's who you are. And I'm paraphrasing what he said, but are they that kind of team, or can they against better teams? And Atlanta's been so inconsistent. Is it a bet against New England as much as it is a play on Atlanta?
Well, I could say this that just look at this list here, Howard. Cleveland, Tennessee, New Orleans. Those are the three teams New England has just knocked off. Those are scrimmage games, okay? And
Yeah,
they're
that's
getting
a good
all the
point.
credit for this because they're winning games and covering spreads, but they played Sisters of the Poor. And I think they're going to be exposed in this particular football game because right now in this contest here, Atlanta can play. The women's got Tampa Bay up next. It's not a look ahead, but they got I think a tougher opponent up next. I think that New England takes an L in this football game and loses the game on the field.
Well, okay, outright. Okay, who else do you like?
I think I'm going to go to Monday night. The Arizona Cardinals, they're taking 3.5 points against Dallas. And my question to you is, who is Dallas to be laying points to anybody? They're still
And
the
they're
worst.
laying them on the road, right? That's a no, they're at home.
No, they're at home,
They're at
but
home.
they're the worst defense in the National Football League. Their offense, they're just an over machine themselves because they score points and they can't stop anybody. But eventually, you have to play some defense, and this is an Arizona football team that every game they played this year has been a one-score game. Every loss, obviously, has been a one-score loss. They're coming up here in this particular football contest, getting healthier. They're off the bye week. I think this is a prime spot for Arizona, who I think is still in contention to make the playoffs. I don't have in front of me what their playoff ranking is right now or their seed number, but I like this Arizona football team. They don't quit, and I don't think they're going to quit in this particular football game. They're number 11 right now in the if the playoffs were to start this week, and they'd be the 11 seed. A win here would vault them up to number 8 or 9, and they can maybe move their way up forward. But I think this is a real sneaky underdog team in Arizona who's playing a lot better than their record indicates.
You know what? And I think Kyler Murray's coming back
Yes, he
this
is
week.
on top of it. Yes.
Yeah, so that's a big thing. So some of these numbers, and maybe because the favorites have won, Detroit. Now Minnesota's played terrible, and I guess is Carson Wentz still the quarterback for it? He's not played
No,
well.
he's going. He's. I think his career might be over.
No, there's always a backup quarterback
Well, they're doing.
position.
McCarthy's going to play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
he's
why
back
is so? Why is that 9.5?
because it's the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings have been playing poorly of late, and I think it's an overreaction to the Detroit Lions. What you've got here is a head coach in Kevin O'Connell from Minnesota, who's as good as of a brilliant young head coach as anybody in the National Football League. And remember, this is a Minnesota team that won 14 games last year. And
Wow, I
now they're
didn't
reeling here
realize
off
that.
back-to-back losses, taking points, this many points in a division football game. It's way too many points for Detroit to have to lay. I think they're going to be happy just to get out with a win, let alone having to get away with a double-digit win.
We haven't gotten to. I mean, the Eagles game last week against the Giants was a revenge game. But we haven't gotten to many revenge games. Are there any revenge games yet in conference? And I don't think Minnesota and Detroit have played yet. That at some point, and I could.
No, they haven't, and I don't see any on the card here. That we're still with a lot of non-conference type of games here, non-division
Right.
games, if you will. Those are going to be starting to load up here real quick. We get to the middle of November, they'll start coming up. But I don't see a one. There's the same season revenge on this card this week. No.
You know what? Another big number, and it's probably too big, even though the Saints are. It's too bad for Kellen Moore. The Saints are terrible. 14.5 for the Rams. When does it become too much in the NFL to lay those kind of points?
Well, when it's 14.5, like it is for the Rams, that's too many points in a division game. Doesn't matter who the two teams are. It's still a division opponent. And you're talking better than 2 touchdowns. And New Orleans is going to start their first round draft pick quarterback, Tyler Suggs, in this football game.
Mhm.
Is he going to help? Who knows? But it's certainly not going to hurt anything. The situation they drafted him and started him on the bench by design. They want to break him in here. This is the team to break him in against. Way too many points to lay. New Orleans defense is not all that bad.
You know what? The line that's telling me something. Houston is favored against Denver. I mean, obviously Denver has a better record. Whether they've played well enough to have that better record, but they're 6-2, and they're getting points, even though it's only 1.5 at Houston. Do you like a side in that game?
I like the Houston side, and I think I'm with you. I'm saying, people are saying, why is Houston laying points to a hot Denver Bronco football team? But
Mhm.
Houston's body of work has been really a lot better than their record shows this year. The last 5 games, they've held opponents to season low yards. They're really cooking defensively, and if this
Mm.
offense picks things up, they put up 300 or 475 yards last week against San Francisco. If
Wow.
this offense comes around here, Houston could be a player. And I think they'd be a team that can go after the Colts inside their division here. This is a big game for the Houston Texans.
Yeah, and they have to win the game.
Yeah,
Their season,
yeah.
desperate. It's really hard to say desperation is halfway through the
Oh,
season,
but a
but
key game for sure.
yeah, it really is. Are the 49ers favored by enough against the Giants? You don't like to lay points on the road, but are they favored by enough at 2.5?
This 49er team is, what they're not doing this year, Howard, what they've done so well in the past is they're not running the football like they did before in the past, controlling the running game and then opening things up elsewhere. It's not happening. For this football team, and they're up and down every week. You don't know what you're going to get. They've been out-yarded in half of their games they played since their last 4 games. They've been out-yarded 2 times, but they're still San Francisco. I'm a little bit concerned. Last week they got 475 yards against Houston. That was a season high for Houston. Is the San Francisco defense is good because they took some big hits defensively, Joey Bosa and Fred Warner and the likes, but I still think that they're the better football team. And at this stage of the season, I don't want any New York Giants. I don't look for them to suddenly have to decide they're going to play a good football game. They did not show up against the Eagles last week. Why are they showing up this week?
Well, that was a revenge game. They already won their one
Yes,
game against the
yeah, they
Eagles.
were happy. They were happy.
Yeah. If you are looking at the numbers you look at, who do you think is the most overrated team in the NFL? Not just in either conference, but in the NFL.
I would say it's probably the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are still atop the AFC North only because there's not much in the AFC North. And they're beginning to do the bad things, Howard. The last 2 games, season high yards, they've coughed up 427 and 454 yards they've allowed. I think they're the most overrated because they live in the cheapest neighborhood, if you will, per se.
Hmm.
But I still think it's a good spot for them this particular week. You've got them embarrassed at home off a home loss last week. Mike Tomlin doesn't lose back-to-back home games much at all in his career, and he's terrific in games when his team has been really scored upon. Whenever his team allows 35 or more points, Pittsburgh has been money in the bank. And now they're going to dress them up as a home dog to the Colts, who I feel are phonier than pee. If Pittsburgh isn't the most overrated, I think the Colts are. And people are going to say, "What are you crazy? The Colts, look how well they're playing." No, they're not playing all that well.
Okay.
Season high yardage they've allowed, Howard, in 5 of the last 6 football games. That's going to blow up on them, and it could blow up here against Pittsburgh.
You know what? Does revenge make any difference from the playoffs? I think, did Buffalo lose to Kansas City last year in the playoffs?
They did, and not only did they lose to them in the playoffs, they lost to them in the championship game. That's what vaulted Kansas City into the Super Bowl. And there's playoff revenge, and there's playoff revenge from a championship loss, and that's much, much more meaningful. The type of revenge that Buffalo plays in this game.
Hmm.
And the unique stat inside this contest is the last 4 regular season meetings, Buffalo has won and covered all 4. The last 4 playoff meetings, Kansas City has won and covered all 4. It's Buffalo's turn now. It's regular season, and Buffalo needs this game a whole lot more than Kansas City does right now. The Chiefs are on a roll, and no one wants to step in front of them. But remember, it's Buffalo, a home dog, and you've got to look at the Buffalo Bills in this football game.
All right. If people have interest in your services, 800-321-7777 or on the internet, playbooksports.com. Mark, don't eat too much of the candy. The Reese's peanut butter cups, we could always eat more than what's in it. There's 2 of them in here in this one pack. We could always eat more than we should.
Howard, I keep them in the freezer. They're always ready on call.
Oh, and when they're frozen, they are great too.
Aren't they great? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Mark. Have a great week. Eagles back in action next week against Green Bay on Monday night. And obviously, we'll talk about that game as well. Have
Hey,
a
Howard,
great
enjoy
week.
the games. Be well. I'll
All
catch
right.
you.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Mark Lawrence. Yeah. Reese's peanut butter cups. A lot of people. That's got to be the favorite. That's got to be the favorite for a lot of people. All right. And I'll have a question later in the show. And for you to win a hat trick of flyer autographs. But before we do that, I want to thank again a very, very, very important person in and company in this program, and that would be Stillwell Financial Advisors, the presenting sponsor. I'm telling you, the world financially is changing so much. It almost changes day to day, whether it's week to week, day to day. And the person that I know is on top of all that would be Jeff Stillwell. He knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. He also knows that Reese's peanut butter cups is the best. But that doesn't, that's an aside. That's a good thing. However, he knows his stuff when it comes to investing of your wealth. Jeff Stillwell, Stillwell Financial Advisors, and the number is 732 343 0813. Check them out and see if it fits for you. It's an important thing. All right, there's a few things that I do want to talk about. I want to get back to, and I'm inviting your calls, and I'm looking at some of the messages here, and I'll address them. What are the Phillies doing in the offseason? I'm telling you, there's so much. I think there's more than just one thing they need to change. But looking at that, do the Eagles need to make a trade before the deadline? The Sixers, I'm going to point out why they are frauds. Frauds. All right. Some of the things that are going on, it's a joke. It really is a joke. And then there's something, Philadelphia, and I'm doing the show from Philadelphia, and for the people that are Philadelphia people, the nonsense that happened in this city, and I'm going to mention that as well. But before we do that, I want to tell you some other important people of the program. That would be Audi of Westchester. Audi Westchester, really, really, I mean, when I go out there, I have fun talking to all the people. I grab a cup of coffee, I grab a snack. But most importantly, you're going to get 3.99% financing for up to 72 months on the following new Audis. And they're redesigned. The A5, where are you going to get 3.99% financing? It doesn't happen. The Audi, the A5, the Q5, the SQ5, the Q5 Sportback, the SQ5 Sportback, and the Q6 e-tron rear wheel drive. Stop by, have some fun. Look at cars. They have a great selection of vehicles there beyond the ones that I've mentioned here. 1421 Wilmington Pike, 3.99% financing up to 72 months on those wonderful new redesigned models of Audi. Check them out, AudiWestchester.com. Also, taking care of your property. When company comes over, you've thought about a pool. You thought, and you procrastinated. Don't procrastinate anymore. Don't procrastinate. You still have time to kind of get it in and maybe get it started this year so you have it ready for next year. New Paul Piazza, Property Pros, 25 years of experience tells you all you need to know. They don't subcontract. That is really important, whether it's excavation, landscaping, fencing, pool maintenance. They being Piazza Property Pros, can do it all. Here's the number, 610-566-2608, 610-566-2608, or check them out, call them up and get a free consultation. Check them out at piazzaoutdoor.com. All right, so let's deal with a couple of things here. The couple of things are, it would be nice if the Eagles made a trade before the deadline next week. I just don't know. I just don't know that they can afford. Well, I don't know that it's really going to happen, because I don't know there's anybody out there. Teams that trade really good players don't want players back. Like the trade they made with the Jets to get a cornerback. And it was like, so whatever for whatever. And the Eagles needed another cornerback. I guess they want some depth there. But they need an edge rusher, and I just can't see how they can get Myles Garrett. That's a lot of internet chatter and talk. What do the Phillies need to do? They need to get contact hitters, as we've seen now in the World Series, which as we speak will go to a Game 7. Toronto's got a cojones, boy. Even though they lost Game 6 and they lost a tough one, and the way it ended, they lost, and they got a bad break. They came back from that 18-inning game and won the next game. Now, I know Otani is going to pitch in Game 7, but I would not bet. Actually, I'm just curious. Dodgers. I think the Dodgers have been favored in every game. So it would be shocking if they're not favored in this game. Yes, they are favored in this game. They are favored in this game. It's just, I, I'm still not going against. I'm not going against the Blue Jays. Either you take the Blue Jays or you take nothing. So that's just my. My point is the Phillies aren't close to these teams. They are not close to these teams. They're not a championship. They're not a championship contender. Are they a good team? Yes, the Phillies are a good team. Are they a championship contender? I do not believe so. So you want to join the show and talk about it. And I do. Let me before I get Joe. Do we have anybody up that wants to jump on the show? Okay. All right. Let's go to George, and I'll ask him.
Howard. Here's your
Yep.
Reese. Here's your Kit Kat. Here's a peanut M&Ms, man.
You got to put it in front of the camera, but
my
you
bad.
You know what? I like move it over a little bit. There you go.
And
there
then
you
your
go.
Kit Kat.
Yep.
And of course, the Reese's.
The Reese's is the best.
Reese's is king. I agree with you.
Yeah, Reese's is the best. So that's important.
Hey, before I get to your stuff here, and I noticed this week and how college football is absolutely crazy. Did you see what the LSU governor, the Louisiana governor is doing?
Yeah.
What is going on?
It's a state school. Wait a minute. The state is paying part of that 50-some million to Brian Kelly. That's they get money. LSU gets money from the state.
Right, I understand.
So it's costing the state some money because they've made mistakes. Brian Kelly, he's not as bad. James Franklin is the biggest fraud. And he'll get another job because he talks up a good game.
He got Virginia Tech.
What's that?
He's got Virginia Tech. Play taps for Virginia Tech now.
They didn't announce that yet, did they?
It looks like he's going to Virginia Tech. I mean, it's almost pretty much a done deal.
Yeah, it's not. It's Virginia Tech's not one of the bigger, so he's never going to win there.
Yeah, I get out of Penn State.
But I understand why the governor of Louisiana is doing that. It's their money. A lot of that's their money. He has every right to say that. Now, if they weren't a state school, he couldn't do that. But they're a state school.
I just think at this point, then let him pick the coach.
Let who pick the coach?
The governor.
Well, now he'll work with people that know what they're talking about because obviously the athletic director was an idiot.
It just hit me the wrong way.
To give those coaches that have not proven anything. And I'm tired of these other coaches saying, well, James Franklin, I saw Urban Meyer somewhere yesterday. Oh, he's won all those games. He won squat, zilch, nada.
Howard.
He's won nothing. And to say, oh, he's won all those games. What does that mean? College football, when you're that good, you should be better than just winning games. And when you look at his wins, did he look at those 3 high school teams that he played to start the season? I mean, give me a break.
You just said it. His wins. I'm a Penn State guy, and I went away from them because of Franklin. Okay, his record against non-top 25 teams was really good, but against top 25, and Urban Meyer doesn't want to put that out there. I'm going to use it. Sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty okay. Let me ask you another question here. Sixers. Did you take the fool's gold and buy in when they went 4-0?
I use your term, and I have been since the last couple of years, and you said it today. Fraud. You've been losing behind in every game.
Wait a minute.
And I have
worse than that.
George, have you been watching the Sixers?
Worse than that. They've been down by double digits in every fourth quarter of the games they've played so far. The 4 wins, they were down double digits in the fourth quarter. Last night, which would have been the Friday night game against Boston, double digits in the fourth quarter, they were down. Their biggest deficit was 24 points. They never had a lead. Joel Embiid doesn't rebound anymore. He has more turnovers than assists, and he took the last shot. It was a prayer. But you know what Joel Embiid's shot, his percentage or what he's done in game-winning shots? Do you know what he's done?
Is he under 20%?
He's 3 for 20.
Oh my God, it's under 20%.
3 for 20. That's what he
Oh
is.
my God, he can't hit
He
the broadside
is
of a barn.
cooked. Put a fork in him. He's done. He's done. All he's out there now is to score some points, to build up his points. And he's a deficit to that team. And Paul George is a stinking, like, he ought to be
He's
taken out in
stealing money.
handcuffs for stealing money.
He's stealing
I
money.
know.
He's stealing. Hey, the Phillies. I have a question for you. And no doubt the teams we're watching are better than the Phillies. Does it come down to coaching philosophy? I'm talking hitting coach philosophy. Basically playing small ball, not hitting. We're looking for the 3-run home
Well,
run. Where does that
here's
philosophy come from,
I'm
Howard?
not going to blame the hitting coach, because the hitting coach tells players, "Hey, listen, shorten your swing with 2 strikes. Choke up on the bat a little bit with 2 strikes." They don't do any of that because they all are into home run. Home runs make money. And when Larry Ball was on not too long ago, he said they pay people for home runs. They don't pay people for putting the ball in play, and that's a mistake. Baseball has killed themselves. I mean, Bryce Harper. Now, Bryce Harper is interested in. He wants to be in the Hall of Fame. Well, what player doesn't? But I don't think he's a Hall of Famer right now, and he won't have 400 home runs by the end of next season, and that doesn't get you in the Hall of Fame. I don't know that he'll
Right.
get 500 home runs, but that's what he swings for. He's got such a violent swing, and at one time he was an elite player, but he's not an elite player anymore. And the only way he's going to get into the Hall of Fame is to get home runs, and maybe the Phillies win a World Series. That would be another thing for the Phillies to win it, because that goes on your resume. And I don't know, with this core, the way it's constructed right now, are a World Series champion. I don't know that they're really a World Series contender right now. They're a good team, no question. However, there are teams that are better, that play the game the right way, but that's not the way the Phillies play it. So he just wants to hit home runs. He only had 27 this year. I know he still played a lot of games. So even though he was injured, he still played a lot of games. I don't know that he's going to get 35 next year. And 35 in today's game is not that big a deal anymore. Guys that hit in the
The
30s is not a big deal anymore.
The philosophy is so different. Look at the batting champion in the National League. Turner hit 305. Go back to the old days, Howard. I hate making myself look old here. Look at the batting champions of the past. We had how many players hit over
Wait a minute.
300 or over
Wait a
330?
minute. A home run hitter. What did Judge hit this year? What did Aaron Judge hit this year? He hit 330 something, didn't he?
Aaron Judge. Hold on.
Do you have it there?
Google for you. I'm going to Google for you, all right?
Well,
Aaron Judge.
Wait a minute. I could ask my
I got it up. Hold on a sec. He batted 331, 53 home runs, 114 RBIs, 179 hits. Man, that's
an elite player.
That's an elite player.
Right.
Hey, Bryce Harper. And I'm a fan of Bryce. Bryce, stop whining. This is elite, buddy.
Yeah,
That's elite.
I know. It's just, and nobody, they say, well, they don't care about average. You got to care about average. You got to care about putting the ball in play. You got to care about RBIs. Do you know how many 100 RBI seasons that Bryce Harper has had in his 14-year career?
Should I say 4?
You're high.
I'm guessing.
You're high.
I'm high.
Once with Washington and once with the Phillies. That's it.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's not elite player, right?
Not now. It's not. No. Hey, George, you have a great weekend. Happy Halloween. Enjoy all your candy and have a happy Halloween.
Got a huge bag here. We had kids, but I got a huge bag, man.
Okay.
Sweet tooth of a
have a good one. All right.
You too,
bro. All right. And for Halloween weekend, we bring in a clown, a dope, and a moron. And what fits that bill better than Cowboy Dumb? Hey, by the way, you didn't call after they lost to Carolina.
That was 3 weeks ago. I was probably
whoa. You call in, but you didn't call when they lost to Carolina. Carolina stinks.
I might have been working. Who knows what might have been happening? Who knows what's going on?
I know what would have been happening. You didn't want to talk about the stinking Cowboys. They suck. They're going to lose on Monday, too.
Listen, all right, before we get into that, listen, I know how much you love tasty cakes and sugar. Go ahead, eat one of those Reese cups. Come on, Mr. Sugar. Go ahead and eat one. I want to see you open it up. No,
I don't eat it on the show.
You fraud.
I'm not
you're not going to eat that.
I'm not going to have both of them at one time. There's two of them in this
One
pack. There's-
bite. One bite. Go ahead. Come on. Show your audience how
Okay,
much
I'll
you
tell you
love
what.
them.
Why don't you bet me $100 and I'll do it? You already owe me 200 for
I already owe you
charity.
200.
You want to bet me 100?
That you'll eat that?
That I'll eat that.
Go ahead. Go ahead. $100. Go ahead.
Okay.
Open that up and eat
And
that.
okay,
Just one. You don't have to eat both of them. Just one.
okay, here we go. For charity, I'll do a
For
lot
charity.
for charity. All right, there's the Reese's cup.
I've never seen you eat sugar. This is the first time I've seen you eat sugar.
Okay. It is delicious.
Well, of course it is.
Okay.
Of course it is, you dope. Of course it is.
Now it's up to $300.
All right, now it's up 300. Hey, listen, now that Jerry Jones, the genius, is about to make $100 billion in gas and oil, listen, I'm begging him, please buy the Philadelphia Eagles. Go to Jeffrey Lurie. Go to Jeffrey Lurie and make him an offer he can't refuse and buy the Philadelphia Eagles.
Can't have it. He
Wouldn't
already
that-
owns a team. He already owns a team.
It doesn't matter. Who cares?
First of all,
about that?
he's ruined the Cowboys by the moves he
He hasn't ruined the
makes.
Cowboys. He hasn't ruined the Cowboys. Although the Cowboys
Good
season,
guy, but he's an idiot when it comes to personnel.
although
Stop.
the Cowboys
Stop.
season, the Cowboys season could end Monday night. So I'll have to start rooting for the Lions, the Bills, teams that haven't gone.
You're
to the
going to
Super
bail
Bowl.
out on your Cowboys?
Well, if they lose Monday, I mean, what am I going to do? I mean, I can't. There's not. I mean, Schottenheimer said he was going to make changes, and he hasn't done a thing. He hasn't done one thing. He says, "Oh, after the loss to the Broncos, he's I'm going to go make change." He hasn't done anything. So it's ridiculous. Anyhow, listen. I think this Miles.
By the way, when's the last time the Cowboys won a playoff game?
I don't remember.
I know, it's so
they
long
beat
ago.
Tom Brady. That's what they beat Tom Brady. That was the last time. Okay, and this Miles Garrett thing. Listen,
It's not going to happen.
no, it's not going to happen.
I
But
don't think so.
but again, they had money for Micah Parsons. They had money for him. But now Miles Garrett, it's like, well, no, I don't know where we're going to find this money. I don't know what we're going to do about that. But there's other teams that want Miles Garrett.
But who had money for Parsons?
They were talking. They said Micah Parsons. They said they were interested in Micah Parsons.
They
and
said
were gonna-
that, but they don't say they're not interested because you keep the agent happy.
Yeah.
They're not going to say they're not interested. Micah Parsons is terrible against the run.
well,
All he
I'm
cares
saying
about is a sack.
if the Eagles want to have a dynasty, they're going to have to go after Miles Garrett. They're gonna, like when the Cowboys went after Deion Sanders.
They don't want it. They just want to win a championship. It's not about dynasty. You
Well,
are an idiot.
yeah,
You are
I
just
know.
a total idiot.
Listen, how much is everyone going to love Bryce Harper when he asks for an extension? I mean, come on.
Well, he's not going to ask for it again. I see there's somebody on the chat line here, Charles BMAC, I guess it is, should trade Harper and sign Alonzo. I think people are starting to bail on Bryce Harper.
They are.
Yeah,
They
because
are.
don't whine, just produce. Yeah,
Right.
just produce. Don't. But he panders to the fans with all the fanatic stuff. Hey, listen, that's fine. The people love it, and when he's playing well, people can't say enough good things about him. It's just on and on and on. But you got to play well. You got to produce for the team. It really comes down to that, and that's not what he's done.
But these Philly fans, they pack in that stadium. They're buying all that merchandise, all that food down there.
Well, but everybody
they're packing
does
it in.
that.
I know they don't. What if you're a Marlins fan? Nobody goes to see the Marlins play.
Well, nobody
But-
goes to see them anyway.
but-
They didn't
but-
even go to see him when they won a world championship in, what was it, the 90s? They didn't go to see him.
Well, anyway, but
All right. Take your new Dallas cap that you bought. Yeah, because I knew you wanted to cover up that awful.
I need
looking
to
hair.
cover it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
All right,
All right.
dope.
All
All
right.
right, I owe you $300.
Okay. All
Bye,
right.
dope.
It's for charity. All
For
right.
charity.
See you later.
Bye.
I see some of the. By the way, the name I didn't know. I said the worst contract signing in Sixers history was Paul George. That's the worst. And I couldn't remember the center they signed. And I see Fred Shaughnessy, Andrew Bynum. Well, how could I not remember him? They didn't pay Andrew Bynum as much money as they paid, and for as many years as they paid Paul George. They are stuck with Paul George. Stuck. Again, another season where he won't play 50 games. This guy is a rumor. I mean, it's a disgrace. And Daryl Morey, to sign him, I don't know what he was thinking. And to sign Embiid when you knew he was hurt, what an idiot. People, I see Lee Goldstein. The Sixers are better than we thought. Maybe. No, they're not better. They're not better. They're an average team that has, that's a zero, by the way, zero chance zero chance of winning a championship. We know that. Zero chance of getting to the conference finals. Zero chance of getting to the NBA finals. Zero chance with this current group of players. Zero. All right. And so you pay your exorbitant prices for tickets and you go on with that. Do we have another caller we could squeeze in here, Joe? I saw Jeff was up there. I guess he clicked off. But yeah, you just hang in there. I'll get to you. But it's Paul George is on vacation. He's not on vacation. He's stealing money. He should be taken out in the handcuffs for stealing money. I see. AL, the accordionist. Morning, Howard. I'm unbelievably tired this morning, but I never missed your show. Thanks. Well, this show is better than the radio. Podcasts are better than the radio because radio is cooked. I mean, the ratings that the rating service gives radio stations now, I don't believe them because they need to have good ratings for the radio stations to pay for they have to pay to get the ratings. That's it's just terrible. But this show is certainly better than what you can listen to anywhere else. I see Mark Davis. Phillies should trade Turner and sign Bichette. Bichette wouldn't be as much money, but I don't know that Trey Turner's a great guy and he's productive, but he's not. Nobody's worth that kind of money. And I had a friend of mine who's clueless when it comes to what should be done with the baseball because he's drinking the Kool-Aid. He says, it's not my money. Yeah, but when they sign big contracts, it really limits them. It doesn't prohibit them from doing anything because there's no salary cap. It limits them from what they can do to sign free agents. What does Arthur have to say about the NBA betting scandal? I haven't heard from Arthur. So he's either in jail and he can't pay off the guard to get a phone, or God forbid, something really serious has happened to him. But he has become invisible. There's something. I hope it's not. If he's just in jail, that's his fault. It's just Paul George is on vacation. Yeah, he's on vacation. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to touch on. I was thinking of Andrew Bynum, but I think Paul George is a worse contract, worse than Andrew Bynum. Some of these comments I can't read. I like Maxey, Keith, the new guys. Maxey's a good player. Not going to be able to carry a team, but he's a great guy and a really good player. But it's just Edgecom looks like he's a nice rookie. Patty jumps in. I think there's less than a 5% chance that the Eagles get Myles Garrett. Yeah, it's a lot of money and it's too many number one picks. It's just the Eagles are trying, but you got to give up something. Charles, are you crazy? Penn State upset win. There's no way Penn State could keep it close, but they're not going to upset. They are not going to upset Ohio State. Could be close though. I will say that. And by the way, I do want to mention a couple of things before we go. Number one, Temple. A win today against East Carolina, and they're an underdog. They're at home, they're at the link, makes them bowl eligible. What a really good achievement for Temple's football team. And Casey Keeler, the head coach, and Bruce Arians, I know he's done a good job. Bruce Arians mentioned the other night that he believes he's done a good job. And, I hope they win to become bowl eligible. Another thing I want to mention, the NBA. What the hell is this Gold Cup or whatever the hell they call this in-season tournament? The NBA is a complete farce and a joke. And they have this, let me get the correct what it's called, the NBA Cup group play. Well, you win as a trophy, and players get extra money. Like that's what you need to do. Like, and you color the floor when it's a Gold Cup game. Is that what it's called? The NBA Cup, not a Gold Cup. When it's an NBA Cup game, the floor is blue. Oh, isn't that so wonderful? Doesn't it get you excited when you watch the game? You see the floor is blue. Oh my God, that's really, really great. Adam Silver, you have outdone yourself. You have outdone yourself with that. It's just what a brilliant idea to have an in-season tournament, which means absolutely nothing except a trophy and extra money, and then you color the court blue. So people who watch know, oh, it's an NBA Cup game because the floor is blue. How many people even know what the hell the NBA Cup is? It's a complete and utter joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. And let me give you the question for today. Do we have a caller, Joe? Late, but late to the party, but I'll do him no audio, so we can't take him. All right, the question today. Mark Lawrence, I asked him who he thought, based on his numbers, the most overrated team in the NFL is. Who did Mark Lawrence say is the most, and not the either conference, in the entire NFL? Who did Mark Lawrence say was the most overrated team? And if you do that, if you know the answer to that, submit your entry to my website, howardeskin.com, by midnight on Tuesday, November 4th. That's election day. Get out and vote. And that's another thing. Urge you to get out and vote by midnight on Tuesday. We'll announce the winner on Wednesday. The hat trick of autographs, including Flyer greats Ron Hextall, Tim Kerr, and Rick Tocchet, who's now doing a terrific job as a head coach. They've won their last 5 games. Flyers are in better shape than the Sixers, much better shape. They're moving forward. The Sixers in like wallow land. But anyway, we'll announce the winner on the show on Wednesday on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube. Follow me on all those platforms. And YouTube, you will be notified when I go on live, and I will announce the winner. And more people, there'll be more than one person have the correct answer, but we'll select somebody at random. All right. I mentioned that Joel Embiid's 3 for 20 with game-winning shots. Joel Embiid is cooked, done. Put a fork in him. He's done. Sixers are fool's gold. Go ahead, pay all that money to watch a Sixers game. Knock yourself out. It's just outrageous, the money they charge to watch a 76ers game. But whatever. So I gave you the question. By the way, my picks, which is a donation for 2 really good groups, are posted, and they benefit. The money of your donations goes to Brandywine Valley SPCA and Providence Animal Center. Really 2 great organizations that helps with the animals, the dogs, the cats, the animals. I memorialized my doggies that I lost up there, you see on the screen. And my picks are posted. And again, it's a donation. It's not that much money, donation for my picks, and they are currently posted on all my platforms. And one other thing I want to mention before I go. The city of Philadelphia is a joke. It's a joke beyond a joke. And I'll tell you why. All of a sudden, because all that property where the Sixers tried to con people into agreeing to build an arena at 10th and Market, which was never going to happen. But, there's people that bought up all that property, and they they blew up the bus station at 10th and Filbert. This is Philadelphia for people that know the area. So the bus station for a couple of years has moved around to, they wanted a storefront. They got a storefront that closed. There was no restrooms there. You couldn't stay in there if it rained. You had to stand outside on the street. It was between 6th and 7th on Market. That didn't work. There was too many buses there. SEPTA had to eliminate the stops in that area. Then they moved them to another location. Then they talked about moving, and they're all outside. So if it rains, people are out there with their luggage. If it rains, you get rained on. Guess what Philadelphia now says they're going to do? They're going to go back to the Greyhound bus terminal at 10th and Filbert. They say they're going to do that, but they haven't done anything with it for a couple of years. So it's got to be run down. It's got to cost some money to at least get it inhabitable. Is that a word? To get people to inhabit it. It's a joke. It's like, why did you? Because people from the Sixers wanted that property to build the arena. They had an option to buy the property. Now they're trying to get rid of it, so it's going to be a Greyhound. So it's going to cost the city of Philadelphia money. It's just, why did you allow the 76ers to push people out of that terminal, that bus terminal? And they had to stand outside for 2 years. It's disgraceful. What a bad, not a misrepresentation, because it represents the city well. It's a bad representation of the city of Philadelphia. I just wanted to get that out there. All right. Everybody have a happy Halloween. Reese's peanut butter cups. That's the best, but there's all kinds of candies. I hope you had a happy Halloween, and the kiddies were happy when they went around and got all their candy. I used to take my kids out. I used to have fun doing it. There's people, I'm sure, that worry about what's going on in the world now and worry that things could happen. But nonetheless, I hope you had a great Halloween and a happy 1st of November. Phillies have some work ahead of them. The Eagles are still a good team, and I don't know what they're going to do of any significance. Thanks to our presenting sponsor, Stillwell Financial Advisors. Thanks to Audi of Westchester, and thanks to Piazza Property Pros for being a fine part of this program. And just to let you know, Jeff Stillwell has already let me know that Reese's is his favorite candy as well. All right, everybody have a great weekend. What the hell are you going to do with no Eagles football? What are you going to do? you're going to have to watch the other stuff if you want to watch it. But nonetheless, have a great weekend, a great week, and we'll see you again on Wednesday as the Sixers wallow in mediocrity. Have a great week, and thanks to Joe Gangemi for the production, all the production stuff that he does with this show on the other side, and our graphic stuff. Thanks to Tony Anastasia. Have a great beginning of next week, a great weekend, and enjoy it. And go Temple Owls. I want to see you become bowl eligible. And Rick Tockett, keep up the good work with the Flyers. Take care and have a great week.